My story? Well, it's been a hell of a journey, that's for sure. I guess like everyone, you just try to find where you feel most at home.
Bautista has won the Royal Rumble. Bautista is the new heavyweight champion of the world.
A five-time champion. The power of the animal.
He did it. Bautista did it. Bautista did it.
It felt awesome to finally be the best of the best.
It was my pride, my privilege, my honor to entertain you.
I felt like I needed a new challenge, something completely different. So even though I was still at the peak of my career in WWE, I chose to take another path.
Dave Bautista's journey to stardom began on the rough streets of Washington, D.C., where he had a turbulent youth. Born in 1969, Bautista grew up in a troubled environment of poverty and crime. As a teenager, he fell in with a local gang and got into petty crime, admitting later that he and his friends would steal bicycles, clothes, and other kid stuff because they couldn't afford them.
Mom did the best she could, but hey, you know. Just say with no dad around, I got into my share of trouble. Nothing too serious. Definitely took me a little while to find some direction.
By his late teens, Bautista had grown into an imposing figure and found work as a nightclub bouncer. Unfortunately, his aggressive approach to bouncing, once beating up a patron for asking too many questions so badly that he was charged with assault, showing that young Dave was living up to the troublemaker label. His personal life was equally chaotic. He became a father in his early 20s, and he struggled to support a family while living a nocturnal, fight-filled lifestyle. For nearly a decade, Bautista drifted with no real direction, spending most nights working and most of the day in the gym.
Next thing you know, 10 years are gone from your life. Like, what am I gonna do?
All while barely making ends meet. Now, nearing the age of 30, he realized that he had squandered years of his life, and he was even borrowing money just to buy Christmas gifts for his children. This wake-up call pushed Bautista to seek a dramatic change in his life. Desperate to turn his life around, Bautista decided to channel his physicality into professional wrestling. In 1999, at 30 years old, much older than most of these beginners around, he began training and he caught the eye of WWE scouts. He was sent to WWE's developmental territory to hone his skills.
Every day I was there, he treated me like a son. Still are very close. I owe him a lot.
As his training progressed, 4 to 5, 6 months, it's almost time for me to, or to advance him to a different level.
And despite his late start, Bautista's incredible physique and his determination stood out.
He was massive, unbelievably powerful. I knew he was going to be something. I just knew it was a matter of time.
And by 2002, he made his WWE television debut as the Deacon Bautista, a menacing enforcer character. Soon after, he was repackaged simply as Bautista, the Animal.
300 plus pound. Oh my gosh, look at this guy, JR. What an athlete this Bautista is. He's a monster.
And he was placed in the influential faction Evolution alongside legends Triple H and Ric Flair and a fellow newcomer in Randy Orton. Under the tutelage of these veterans, Bautista's career skyrocketed. He learned quickly for a rookie, and his imposing presence made him a natural fan favorite, even as a villain on screen.
To top it all off, got to win tag team titles with Ric Flair. He was excited and he was really honored to be my partner.
In a breakout moment, Bautista won the 2005 Royal Rumble, cementing his status as a top contender. At WrestleMania 21 in 2005, in front of a worldwide audience, Bautista defeated his mentor Triple H to become the World Heavyweight Champion, officially completing his evolution from an unknown rookie to a main event superstar.
I actually had tears in my eyes. I was so proud of him.
It was really a dream come true for all of us. I mean, we were really sharing in the moment.
His powerful style and his charisma as the Animal persona, it resonated with fans, and he became one of the WWE's biggest names of the 2000s. As a main star in WWE, Bautista collected championship gold multiple times, including 6 World Heavyweight and WWE titles, and he headlined major events around the globe. He engaged in memorable rivalries with iconic figures like The Undertaker, John Cena, and Edge. However, with success also came so many challenges. Bautista's rapid ascent and his confident demeanor, it reportedly ruffled some feathers in the locker room. Rumors swirled of backstage tensions, most notably a real-life fistfight with fellow wrestler Booker T in 2005, allegedly sparked by Bautista boasting about carrying the company. These incidents painted him as arrogant to some of his peers, but Bautista later reflected that he was still learning how to handle fame and responsibility. He also battled a series of injuries, torn triceps, and muscle tears that repeatedly took him out of action for months at a time.
Constantly battling injuries, that's something we never let fans see. It was all wearing on me.
Yet, each time, he fought his way back to the top, and he demonstrated resilience in the best way possible. Outside of the ring, the relentless WWE travel schedule strained his family life.
Only be married to a guy who was never home.
We did everything together and we loved it like that. When he started traveling a lot, I think it affected us immensely. But I did become resentful. There was a part of me that started getting angry.
Bautista has candidly admitted that being on the road has led to the collapse of a marriage, and he was never home. He fell into bad behaviors while he was on tours. Despite personal and physical setbacks, Bautista's bond with the audience, it always remained strong. Fans embraced him as a powerhouse good guy later in his run, and his intensity in the ring, it kept him at the forefront of WWE's programming for years. By 2010, however, Bautista began to feel that he had accomplished all they could in wrestling and started looking towards new horizons. Bautista's first departure from the WWE came in 2010, and it wasn't due to his age or injuries, but rather ambition. He had grown passionate about acting and saw potential to parlay his wrestling fame into a movie career. Unfortunately, his relationship with the WWE had soured over creative differences and opportunities outside of the ring. He reportedly sought roles in WWE's own film projects or permission to audition for external movies, but was told firmly that he couldn't pursue outside work. Management allegedly reminded him, "You're our property, get to work." Feeling stifled and undervalued despite being a top star in the company, Bautista chose to walk away from the company.
You think I won't do it? You think I won't quit? You all think I won't quit? I quit!
His exit was somewhat bitter. He left as a villain on TV and a bit of an outsider backstage. With a few farewells from colleagues stepping away from wrestling, Bautista threw himself into acting classes and auditions, a bold move for someone who was now in his 40s starting a new career from scratch. He already tried his hand briefly in MMA, winning a single professional fight in 2012, showing his willingness to challenge himself in new arenas. Bautista's gamble to become an actor paid off dramatically. After a few minor roles, he scored a major break when he was cast as Drax the Destroyer in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy back in 2014. Initially, he was terrified. He later admitted that he was shaking with nerves on his first day on set. Bautista poured his work ethic into the role, enduring hours in the makeup chair to transform into the gray-skinned, tattooed alien warrior.
I basically am Drax.
AKA the Destroyer.
But he's a very emotional character. I love Drax. I kind of feel like Drax is now mine.
The film's massive success, it turned him into a bona fide Hollywood actor overnight. Audiences were impressed not only by his imposing physical presence, honed from years in the wrestling industry, but also his comedic timing and his surprising emotional depth as Drax.
Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
This role opened the floodgates. Bautista went on to appear in the James Bond film Spectre as a formidable henchman, even in the sci-fi epic Blade Runner 2049, showcasing a more dramatic side to the animal, and in numerous other movies ranging from action blockbusters to character-driven dramas to even some comedies. Unlike some wrestlers who turned into actors, They usually stick to typecast roles, but Bautista was different. Bautista sought diverse characters to prove his range, to prove the fact that he really wants to be an actor. Critics and directors took note of his dedication. He wasn't just riding the wrestling fame, he was serious about the craft of acting. Despite establishing himself in Hollywood, Bautista still had unfinished business in the wrestling ring. And in early 2014, just as Guardians' hype was building, he returned to WWE after nearly 4 years of absence. The comeback, however, was rocky. The WWE positioned him as a conquering hero, but the fans at the time were more invested in a different underdog star and booed Bautista's main event push. Dubbing him Bautista, disheartened by the crowd's reaction and the company's creative direction, Bautista left again after just a few months, just as his film career was set to explode. In hindsight, he noted that the WWE's leadership even laughed off his Guardians of the Galaxy project, not realizing that it would make him a global star. After proving himself on the silver screen, Dave Bautista returned to WWE one last time in 2019 for a final storyline. He reappeared as a villain to reignite a feud with his old mentor Triple H, which culminated at WrestleMania 35. In what would be Bautista's retirement match, he put on an intense physical performance, ultimately losing to Triple H in a symbolic passing of the torch. Even though Triple H has been there way longer than Bautista, this time Bautista left wrestling with his head held high, and he received a proper send-off and gratitude from the fans and his peers. He publicly thanked WWE for launching his career, but affirmed that was truly his last match. Free to focus entirely now on acting, Bautista's post-wrestling film career has remained on an upward trajectory. He reprised the beloved Drax role in multiple Marvel sequels. In 2021, he starred in Dune, and he even starred in its sequel in 2023, headlined the mystery thriller Glass Onion, and he earned praise for leading a dramatic role in Knock at the Cabin. With each project, he has proven that his success is no fluke. He's committed to improving as an actor and shedding the stereotype of being a muscle-bound ex-wrestler. Off-screen, he's become an advocate for various causes and has openly shared his past struggles to the youth of today, from overcoming dyslexia that made script readings challenging to learning humility after youthful mistakes. Dave Bautista's life story reads like a Hollywood script itself. He transformed from a wayward youth on a dangerous path into a disciplined athlete and an entertainer who reached the pinnacle of two very different industries. In wrestling, he was a late bloomer who nonetheless became one of the defining superstars of his era. In film, he went from an unlikely newcomer to a Marvel superhero and a critically acclaimed actor. The road was not easy. Bautista battled personal demons, physical injuries, industry politics, and the pressure of starting over at the age of 40. Yet, through perseverance and a drive to better himself, he succeeded beyond what anyone might have predicted when he was just a teen stealing junk from his neighbors' houses. Today, Dave Bautista stands as a symbol of reinvention and determination. His story, from troublemaker to a rookie wrestler to a main event champion to a Hollywood leading man, shows that no matter how humble or turbulent one's beginnings is, it's possible to change course and to achieve greatness through hard work and the courage to chase new dreams. Bautista's a true story of what redemption and evolution can do, and fans around the world have come to respect and admire the man behind the animal. For all that he has overcome, and for all the things that he has accomplished and will still accomplish.